Hi there, this is Ronnie Ambers Knight coming at you with a video. This is in response to Fistful of Dice about uh, D&D role-playing games um, for kids. I'm not going to say D&D all the time because, quite frankly, I barely touch the game now. On the whole, I agree that getting role-playing games for kids is a good thing. Um, how you introduce role-playing games, I think, is something different. I rather go along the idea of getting a board game, getting an adventure board game, and starting that way, rather than starting with a role-playing game. There's been a few board games. My uh, fiance of many years ago, Tracy, there was a door-to-door salesman selling all kinds of stuff, going to businesses, and he arrived at the business where she worked, and one of the things he was selling for £5, I think it was TSR's Dragon Quest board game. This game was a stripped down version of basic D&D, as if you could strip it down anymore. It was a stripped down version that I think had been very much designed to try and cash in on the success of Hero Quest. And it's a wonderful wee game, and I still own it because I'm sentimental. Um, I barely use it now, but I still own it, and I will never get rid of it. Simply because it was a gift from it was a gift of love, and I don't get rid of those. But that is what I would consider to be a good starting place, is a board game. Be it Dragon Quest, be it Hero Quest, be it Talisman. I would start there. My own daughter, I bought the Dungeons and Dragons board game for her, and it turned out to be these tiles, which I'm not a big fan of, but there you go. But I bought that for her as a starting point. She'd already been playing chess with me, and Magic the Gathering, which I think is another great way in to the hobby. It's good fun. But I very much think, my friends and I seem to be of one on this one, is I very much advocate uh, spending quality time with your children. I think it's important. I think one of the ways you can do that is playing a game. Now, what game that will be will largely depend on the family dynamic. Maybe you're someone who prefers outdoor games, like going to the park and kicking a football around, or rugby or whatever. If you're in America, maybe it's touch football, or, baseball, softball, or something like that. But if it's indoors, you can spend quality time, uh, arts and crafts, painting things, making things. But one of the ways you can do it is playing a game, playing a board game, or a card game, or a role-playing game, or a war game for that matter. And I very much believe in it. I think it's great for kids. I think it's healthy. Um, and I think it's good quality time. I think we lead such disconnected lives at times that I think it's good to spend quality time with your children. Um, in an in a in an environment, because it's playing a game, because it's something innocent and fun and silly and simple. It doesn't have some sort of regimental, we will spend family time. It doesn't have that regimental idea about it. It's just game night. And it doesn't have to be anything sort of profound like, you know, Hero Quest or Talisman. It can be Monopoly. It can be Ludo. It can be Cluedo. It can be, you know, Game of Life. Myriad of board games out there, family board games that can be played, and I think it's really important. I think role playing games, not every, I mean, all us gamers, not all our kids are going to enjoy it. Not all our kids are going to like it. Um, and you have to accept that. Uh, what I have been very pleased with is that the games companies themselves seems to have realized that there are kids, younger kids, and there's been some advances towards uh, role-playing games that are targeting younger children. There's Mermaid Adventures, there's Hero Kids, and Fable, I believe. Um, this is not the same as Grim, which is a role-playing game where you play children. That's different. That's a very different game indeed. This is a role-playing game marketed and targeted for younger children. Um, I mean, I have Fable because of a free download PDF. And I had a look at it, and it's fairly simple. It's not something I would go near. But then again, I'm 41. You know, I am not the target audience for that game. I think the closest I would have is if, you know, nieces and nephews were you know, niece nephew had it and wanted to try and play it. You know, I might be tempted to maybe run a game just to show them what a role playing game was. But that's as close as I would come to it. Just doing an introductory game. But other than that, I think they're a good start, and I think if you are looking to get get your children in on role playing and see if they would actually like it, I think games like that are a good start. Um, because as I've said in other videos, I think the problem that we've had for a while now is that role-playing games have just become far too complex. I mean, you can tell, I said this in another video, you can tell they're getting complex when they have to bring out beginner's versions of their core books. But I would actually go further and say that, you know, rather than even do the beginners games, get these uh, kid-friendly games instead. Or get a game like Hero Quest. I think you can get Hero Quest or Dragon Quest or Talisman fairly, I mean Talisman certainly you can get fairly simply, fairly quickly. I mean, you know, I wouldn't recommend something like Game of Thrones for kids because that's fairly complex, but why not get Talisman? Why not get Hero Quest? You get Hero Quest fairly cheaply now on eBay. So yeah, that's what I think, and would love to hear your thoughts.